Violence against women and girls includes a variety of crimes such as domestic abuse, harassment and murder. In the past few months, it's become a topic of even greater public interest following several high-profile cases. And tonight, we're focusing on the issues. The most recent published statistics show that 7% of the female population of the UK have experienced domestic abuse. That's around 1.6 million women. 3% have experienced sexual abuse and 5% have been stalked. Other crimes, such as harassment, often happen in public. It's estimated that around a third of women have experienced at least one form of harassment in the last 12 months. Many women, girls and their families are living with the after effects of these crimes. This is Susan's story.
This was New Year's Eve, I think it was 2018. One of the last times that we as a family saw Susan. It was a fun night. Susan was a good sister. Growing up, she was fantastic. Always looked out for us as a family, me and my sisters, because she was the oldest out the four of us. If I got into any kind of trouble, she'd be there. She'd help anybody. Always, without question. She liked taking photos, she liked sticking her tongue out. She just liked having fun. But she was very, very, very vulnerable. I got a phone call off Lynn telling me that she couldn't get hold of Susan. Police kept coming up, taking statements. I was at work one day when I got a call off Karen saying that they've upped it to a murder investigation, and that was quite hitting. The only idea that we got was when we found out in trial that Susan visited the doctors before she went missing and she had bruises. It was very upsetting. You don't want to see somebody that you love dealing with all that. She trusted people that we wouldn't trust. We've got no closure. We've got nowhere to go and put flowers down. The only place that we could go is to that flat where she was murdered, and that is literally all we've got. I miss her every day. If someone's got any suspicions that anything like this is happening to a family member or somebody that they know, or even if they don't know them and they suspect it, just call the police, welfare check. Try and bring it out in the open. It saves another family going through what our family's going through.
Peter Waring there, sharing the story of his sister Susan. Thanks to Peter for speaking so candidly. So what's being done to try to change the behaviour of the perpetrators? Government money is being spent to rehabilitate them. The Make the Change Perpetrator Prevention Programme is one of those initiatives. It's being delivered by the Wish Centre across Lancashire, and Mairead Smith has been talking to two men who are taking part.
No female should be subject to some of the things I did. When I had a partner, it was my way or no way.
Rob is not his real name. We've changed it to protect the identity of the woman he abused.
I've had a drug habit for 20 years, so when I was in the relationships I was in, it was drug-fueled. Very angry, very bitter, and it led me to have distorted thinking, which made me put my hands on my partner. Emotionally abuse her, mentally abuse her. Yeah, I wasn't a very nice person.
Rob is one of more than 200 men who've been through the Make the Change Perpetrator Prevention Programme, delivered by the Wish Centre across Lancashire.
I stand at the front of a classroom and these guys look at me and think, what does this guy know? The chances are I've probably seen and dealt with most of what they've been through, done themselves. I was a victim of such when I was younger with myself. Not me personally being abused, but, well, emotionally abused, but watching my mum get abused when I was younger, so that was pretty tough.
And to reflect on your behaviour and your part in it.
to show you everybody deserves a second chance, and we want to be part of a success story. If somebody can change and go on and live their life and lead a good life without re-offending, then I think it's job well done for us.
Dean was convicted of 2 counts of assault, but says he's determined to change.
I'm ashamed. I'm totally disgusted, really, by it. Massively, you know. But there's no but. I'm just ashamed. I just thought that there was nothing wrong with me. I had one incident where I hit her, and that doesn't make me this person, do you know what I mean? I didn't get it. But having the understanding and talking about the harms that this has on children and things like that is what I took massively from this course, you know.
Courses like this have received extra government funding to help break the cycle of domestic violence in the North West. In Manchester, Talk, Listen, Change has received more than £1.5 million to expand the work they do. Some people might say that this money could really help to support victims, but you're spending it supporting perpetrators.
Yeah, so working with perpetrators is a contentious issue, and it's backlash that we face almost on a daily basis. Key thing for us is that it's perpetrator work and a solution for victims and survivors, so you need both. It's definitely not an either or. It's a long, complex process, but ultimately we believe that it works, and we believe it can be part of the package of ending domestic abuse.
Anybody can change, but I think they need to be given the right tools to do that, you know, and I think this course has done that for me.
Mairead Smith, BBC North West Tonight.
Let's talk to Shana Begum. She's a national campaigner, a survivor of domestic violence herself, and she works to support other victims and also works with perpetrators. Thanks so much for coming in, Shana. I suppose, first of all, for the benefit of people watching at home, just explain your experience.
So for me, I have 25 years lived experience of domestic abuse. I've had 2 forced marriages, once when I was a child, and I've escaped 3 honour killings, attempted honour killings. So perpetrator-wise, it's been my father, it's been people very close to me, multiple perpetrators. So it's very close.
When you hear that chap at the end of the report, they're saying anyone can change. In your experience, do you think that's true?
I think majority people can change, absolutely. Education, early intervention, prevention is so important. Most of the people I've worked with, especially mentoring ex-offenders, with the right support, education, and somebody believing in them, absolutely you can make changes. The multiple perpetrators in my life, I've seen some people change. Not everyone can change. It's case by case.
We're talking tonight about more restrictions, not lockdown this time, not yet, hopefully not. But did you see a big upsurge in women and girls suffering domestic violence because of the lockdowns? Absolutely.
Domestic abuse thrives in isolation, and when you're trapped in a domestic environment with the person who's harming you, then absolutely domestic abuse did increase. The reporting may not have increased straight away, but when you look at helplines, looking for support, absolutely it will increase. It's only common sense, because domestic abuse is a domestic crime. It happens behind closed doors.
I mean, there might be somebody watching this at the moment who is trapped in an awful situation. What would be your message to them?
I mean, for me, I didn't know it was abuse. I didn't know it was domestic abuse, and that's majority of those who experience abuse. They don't know it's abuse. So for me, explore, there's lots of support out there. Test services if you need to test services. And remember, domestic abuse thrives in isolation. So if you can build your contact and your networks, that is your healing. That is where that's how you'll keep yourself safe, by getting in touch with the support services available close to you, local to you. And
I suppose, although we're talking in this little segment about violence against women and girls, there are also men who suffer domestic abuse, aren't there?
Absolutely, men do experience domestic abuse. However, it's really important that we stick to statistics and data. Due to society being unequal, there's gender inequality everywhere. And because of the inequality, it's a power imbalance. It's all about power and control, domestic abuse and violence against women and girls. And because of that, it is a gendered crime. And we'd be doing a disservice to millions